Welcome to this week's episode of Dice, Cards, and Coffee VideoCast. Today we're talking about board game mechanics and board games. We're going to have a little bit more of a laid-back episode and just chat about tabletop games and our favorite board games, favorite mechanics. So stick around to listen into the conversation. All right, so today we're at Game and Grounds Cafe here in sunny Los Angeles. It's June gloom, as they say. In today's episode, we're just chatting about board game mechanics. I'm Dustin from BG's Tabletop.
And George from Game Grounds.
And Dave from Fire and Dice.
So we're going to talk about board game mechanics. What is a game mechanic? For anyone that's listening that I don't know, I'm just getting into board games.
We have a
couple
couple
game mechanic.
Well, new players here right now, actually.
Dice rolling.
Everyone
knows dice rolling, right?
Yeah.
Dice rolling mechanic,
You roll the dice, see the pip, and you just do what the game wants it to do.
You call that roll and move, right?
Yeah.
Roll and move.
Roll and move, that's Monopoly, right?
Monopoly,
Yeah.
Monopoly, roll and move.
So I'm pretty sure everyone knows that one.
Also a Monopoly set collection. You're collecting the
Sets,
properties.
yeah.
Properties, yeah.
So a lot of board games take mechanics from maybe other games, or there's these long-standing mechanics like roll and move. What kind of mechanic would chess be, or checkers? Like action,
Memorization.
yeah.
It is.
core.
It really is, if you really think
core.
about it.
That's true. At its core, it
But
is.
picking up a piece and moving it without anything that tells you where you can move it.
Yeah.
Variable player power, right? Maybe that's why it's such a strong
that
mechanic.
sounds right.
Because technically queen. No, but I wouldn't be variable player power
it's
because
just
my
like
power is the
strategy.
same as yours.
It's the most classic
Well, it's
strategy
an abstract
game.
strategy would be the category.
Yeah.
But what would the mechanic be? So that's another thing is you have the category of the game.
Yeah.
And then you have the mechanics that
of the
make
game.
up the
Yeah.
game. And then you have the theme of the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Conflict, war.
chess, they call it an abstract strategy because it doesn't really have a theme, but it kind of has a theme.
Just,
It's
Pawns, knights,
you're just trying to capture the
like
king,
queens,
right?
and kings.
it's like castle theme.
You're
Yeah.
just capturing the
Something.
king.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Medieval.
I don't play chess, so I can't really say what it would fall under.
So what are some games
mechanics?
or mechanics that you guys enjoy?
I like the worker placement and resource management games.
You guys are
for
both
sure.
worker placement people. I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
I like
And, with resource management, or it's something like Dune Imperium, you have
Yeah.
3 things in one.
Yeah, when I first started to get into, I guess, Euro games, Catan was the first one, but I think, but you're still rolling dice, so it's like, oh, Monopoly, I roll dice,
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm collecting locations, per se. So,
Something
but
familiar.
something new for me that I really enjoyed off the bat was deck building.
Okay.
The Dominion. I was like,
Yeah,
what is
Dominion.
this?
That
I'm
was
like, oh,
one
I
of the
got to buy
first.
thing, put it to my hand, and
Ascension is a
was
good
like-
one.
So I want to go back. You said Euro games. What does that mean?
games that were not popularized here, I guess, more popular in Europe, and then slowly trickled over to the U.S.
Like worker placement would be a big mechanic from a Euro game.
Oh, sure.
Right? Like if you think of a
Yeah.
Euro game, most people think that it includes worker
Yeah,
placement.
I guess I'm just thinking like games that came from Europe and
But
and
most
the
of those
mechanics
games,
that they created. Yeah.
It's probably both, a little bit of both. But would a Euro game? This would be an interesting question because I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Would a Euro game that doesn't include work and placement, would that be considered a Euro game?
I think it's where the game originated from, where the mechanics originated from, right? So that worker placement did originate from the European style games.
Yeah.
And trickled, like you said, trickled down into US games. Yeah.
And then there's what do they call it? People sometimes get annoyed by the term, but Ameritrash games.
Ameritrash.
Those are games that I like actually.
So give me an example of
what is this is new to me. What is Ameritrash?
I think Risk would be that, or
Risk is a fun game though.
Yeah,
Monopoly?
but that's why they're like, well, it doesn't mean they're trashy games, but it just means they're a lot of
The old
like dice chucking and combat and
Axis and Allies.
Yeah, Axis and Allies.
Uh,
I never played
was a
Axis
good
and
one.
Allies.
That's a good
I
one.
should probably
Yeah.
try
If you
it.
have like a free 10 hours, you're good. Yeah.
I'm feeling. I don't think it's really should be called Ameritrash. I think it's just people just a lot of people. A lot of percentage of the board game players don't play that game, that style of game. So that's like maybe it's just called Ameritrash because how popular
European games are.
certain type of games are.
Yeah.
Dave's one of those people who doesn't like the term Ameritrash.
It's just weird.
No, yeah. I mean, it's fair.
What would-
it's a weird term. I'm gonna switch over to here to share what Google says the definition is, or Wikipedia.
Okay. Google
Is
knows
it
everything.
all the Parker Brother games?
It's in contrast to Euro games, American style board games. I can't pronounce that word on air. Okay, we're gonna skip it.
Gujarat.
It means like a derogative term.
Oh, okay.
Called Ameritrash generally feature a prominent theme that is tied to the game's mechanics, encourage direct conflict between players, and have a greater degree of randomness or luck. So yeah, that would be Risk for sure.
Okay. So more like dice rolling.
Like Catan.
Catan,
Dice rolling, luck.
dice
I heard
Yeah,
all that. I
it's
heard all that
interesting.
in there.
because it's a
They call
Euro.
it, well,
It's a Euro game.
It's a combination maybe.
So Catan's like, I think they call it the 50-50, right?
Board
You
game
need
geek.
luck and you need to strategize.
I'm gonna give you guys
I'll
some,
give you 75-25 on that.
25-25.
some
That's what I would-
examples from board game
I've
geek.
lot
definitely
of
seen
luck.
some bad rolls. But, yeah.
Rune Wars, Arkham Horror,
Great game,
StarCraft, the board game, War of the Ring, Last Night on Earth, Dune, Axis and Allies, Cosmic Encounters,
Dune.
Talisman, Twilight Imperium.
Okay.
Those are all examples. What is not,
Okay.
or examples of Euro games? Puerto Rico, Callus, and El Grande.
Yeah.
All right.
Rio Grande.
So
What about
okay.
what about hybrids? Do you guys know Warrior Knights?
No.
I don't know
Never.
that game. And then what about mass market American games? Monopoly,
Yeah.
Diplomacy,
Okay.
Civilization.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So Ameritrash.
All right. I'm on board now.
All right, we're good.
I'm on board.
So worker placement.
Talisman.
What is your favorite? What you
yeah.
got?
Yeah, worker placement and resource management for
Resource
sure.
management.
I like the complex games, the Terraforming
Complex
Mars,
games. Oh, okay.
high complexity.
It's-
I thought you said
wait, do you say-
conflict.
You said conflict?
Complex.
Complex.
Okay.
Complex.
Heavy.
High
I
complexity.
like to call it
heavy games.
I like to call
the
it the heavy games.
Yeah,
I like
for sure.
deep conflict strategy games like Scythe.
Like Scythe.
Scythe is a top one.
That's a good one.
Conflict heavy, but also,
Mm-hmm.
well, you could try to get away with not having conflict, but it's very difficult.
Oh
I
no,
think.
you got to fight in that game.
Yeah. I think you're always open to being
Right.
like getting attacked.
You have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that like Twilight Imperium?
I've never played.
I never
that
played
one.
it.
Yeah.
Another
I played
10-hour
I played it
game.
once. It was an 8-hour session because a lot of new players. But
Oh, yeah.
I do remember when the person, Nate, a friend of mine who's hosting the Twilight Imperium night, and he was explaining like what different races do. And it's like, oh, this is the one that you want to go to battle with. This is the one you kind of want to build resource with. So it's a little mix.
Variable player
Sounds like-
powers.
It looks and sounds a little bit like StarCraft, which is an amazing game.
StarCraft?
The board game or the
Yeah,
PC
StarCraft.
game?
No, the computer game. Like you have different factions and they do different abilities and you kind of build up a little.
It's the same
differently.
objective though.
Yeah, kill the
Kill.
other.
So-
but I'm
yeah,
sure
but-
isn't that what it is?
So-
So Twilight Imperium had different objectives.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was just kill each other.
No, there's
Okay.
there's a different objective.
That goes back into like the categorization of games, right? They're both 4X games.
Oh.
So Twilight Imperium 4X game, StarCraft
Yeah.
4X game.
Yeah.
Do we know that?
I don't want to say it's that much of a
explore,
4X,
exterminate,
Expand?
expand,
No,
but-
yeah,
yeah,
expand.
yeah.
and
Evolve.
And
Evolution.
we're gonna use Board Game Geek
Um,
again.
All right.
Yeah, we'll look that up.
I
Maybe
love
someone-
RTS though. For
Yeah,
PC games,
yeah.
RTS.
That's cool.
Exploit.
Exploits. There you
I'm
go.
tough on that. I can't play those games. It's just
Yeah,
fast for me
the
sometimes.
reflex and
Yeah.
the micromanaging is just so intense. It's so
Yeah.
crazy. But board games slower paced than video games.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
So
You get some time to think instead of having
Yeah.
to move your fingers.
Yeah. So Scythe, what do you like most about it?
I like the strategy for sure. I like thinking ahead. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Scythe that's watching or if you guys played, but you know how you have a board?
Yeah.
I will have 3 to 4 moves in my head ahead of time, and I'll use little markers on my board to know what I'm going to do next.
Okay.
And then I'll shift those as people are making their moves. I might have to shift like my second option, but usually my next option usually stays pretty much the same, but it'll shift. So I think it's difficult for some people to plan that far ahead, and that's why maybe not as likable Scythe. But then once you play it a few times, you kind of learn strategies and different ways to kind of
I think it's a fun
do
game.
better.
I like
it. Yeah.
Played it once.
Yeah.
Don't remember it.
It is a love-hate game, really.
The first time you play it, you're not really playing it.
Yeah, I just remember I was just like, I'm here. I moved here. And something was happening. I moved here. Something was happening. And then it was just like ended.
Game over.
Yeah. I was like, what? What just happened?
I also think I like games that rely a lot, like I mentioned, where I plan out my moves and they shift. I like games that rely on other players' ways of interacting with the game changes mine, and I have to kind of adapt my strategy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a
conflict-based game.
I know you guys mentioned I've been playing poker, and that's a big. What is my opponent doing? What am I doing?
Right.
And I get that in Scythe, and then also another one is Food Chain Magnet. You guys played that? It's like the whole box is designed about no luck, all strategy.
Okay.
All based off what your opponents are doing. And if you're not paying attention to what they're doing, you're going to lose. You need to adapt to whatever your opponent is doing. And Food Chain Magnet is basically you're building your own restaurant. And it's based off of market demand and advertising and how you do that. And you might advertise something.
Sounds familiar. I'm playing that in real life right now.
Yeah. So it's one of my tops too.
Kind of like a supply and demand kind of.
Yeah,
thing,
it's very much supply and demand, and you can make your burgers a lot cheaper than the other person's burgers, and they'll buy your burgers. But if your burgers are too far away, they're gonna go to the other burgers.
Who's they?
Gaming Grounds,
the imaginary customers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that sounds actually kind of fun.
Yeah,
we should play.
Let's play it.
I'll play Food Chain Magnet with you guys.
Is it a long game or
3 hours?
Reminds me of what there's.
I'd probably dig it.
That's good.
There was a game that's based off supply and demand. It's like oil trains.
Yeah, it's well, there's Brass Birmingham that has a little bit of that, and then there's the Power Grid. That's a big one.
No, so what I'm thinking of supply and demand is you're collecting certain resources, but then when you sell it off, there's no oil. There's no oil in that?
But I know it's a train game.
Yeah. I forgot what it's called, but
I'll look it up.
Yeah, but you're trying to collect certain things and you sell off, and they're worth a certain amount when you sell it.
Power Grid does that as well.
But you don't sell.
Yeah. You can sell it.
I thought you're
good.
I think
You're buying the goods.
Yes, you're buying goods. Yeah, but this one you buy it. You're collecting and you're selling it.
Putting it back. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's called Colt Express.
Yes, that's the one. It's Colt Express.
Ding.
And that was fun. It was fun.
I haven't played that one.
Colt Express.
What about games like this one?
Pulling something.
Pulling it out. Look at that.
Boo.
That's my favorite game right now.
Yeah, you guys like that one.
Dune Imperium was on top, and then recently it's like, I think it's because of the Arc Nova expansion. I just love the new action cards you draft.
That does make it a lot.
Yeah, it's just more fun.
Yeah,
because now everyone has different
abilities,
certain abilities.
Yeah,
the upgrade, I guess you could say.
Right.
So
that is cool.
Yeah.
The new cards, not so much. So I don't know about the Marine stuff. It's okay.
I've won with it before.
Yeah.
With Marines. It's just one of those things. It just has to happen, you know.
Yeah.
Because
you got to kind of follow.
For the most part, I've not seen a lot of people do Marine stuff.
Yeah.
But it is pretty powerful if you're the only one doing it, because you get the chain.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. So that's how I won. Okay. Chaining off everything.
Yeah, it's a good game. Really good game. I think it's pretty well balanced too.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dune Imperium's a very well balanced game.
I like Dune Imperium. Arc Nova, I'm iffy.
Wait, how many times have you played?
Once.
Oh, come on. What did you say about Scythe? You played it once. You haven't played the game.
But
he likes conflict. Though. He likes conflict.
Yeah,
he likes conflict.
I like things that revolve around because Arc Nova. There were some moments that because of you guys were doing stuff, I had to think about my move.
Yes, yes.
But a lot of times it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Your choices really don't affect the other players.
There's only
very much.
There's only a few cards
yeah.
that attack other players.
'Cause
I do like those kind of
I like
games.
games that put us here, like,
Right.
on the board, but I also like games that have to bring us up here more so than be down here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Arc Nova, you gotta be up there.
I mean, you do. You got to be.
If you don't
way
maximize your,
ahead.
if you don't min max your moves.
no,
ahead,
I don't mean up here as in like in your brain
But-
and thinking about my stuff. I'm thinking about up here, like all of us are up here because we have to figure out strategy, like based off of what you're doing.
There's a little bit of that.
doing.
There's a little bit of that because like
You're
you know,
racing
people
for
start
points.
taking the cards you want
Yeah.
or the way you want to go, and then it kind of cuts you off.
Yeah. But that's why I was saying that I think it's less so of that.
Yeah, for
than-
sure. Those are games like Terraforming Mars too. It's like you're kind of playing your own game. I mean, there's definitely conflict, but you really are just playing your own game. You know, where like Catan, everybody's doing something during everybody's turn. Kind of, you know, you're trading, you're kind of looking at things, and then combat games, you always have to be ready for combat, right? Because somebody can attack you at any moment, so you got to just be prepared.
Is there drafting in Arc Nova?
There is now.
In expansion only in the beginning.
So maybe that's why I like Terraforming Mars a little bit more. I do like the drafting aspect of Terraforming Mars. That's more up here too, right? Like it's more of like, what do you take? What am I taking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where that doesn't exist in Arc Nova with the drafting.
Yeah.
And then you're playing on a board, which was a little bit different for me. That again, I'm here.
Right, I'm here. There's
plateau.
not a lot going on
Yeah.
on the main board.
Here's the thing. That's why you lose.
Where there's
You're not
conflict.
looking at your opponent's board.
Well, I've only played once.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why you lost.
Like when you're playing, you're like, all right, I see some objectives.
maybe
No,
that's
but
why-
And then you
I
look
was
at
Maybe that's why he
playboards.
doesn't like it though. He lost the first one. We should have let him win.
I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to you guys.
There's a lot of stuff happening for sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot because there's a lot of ways to earn points because
Yeah.
there's tickets and conservation points.
Yeah.
And then it's
Appeal.
not like they both earn you points in a different way, but the end goal is to get both of them cross to each other.
Yeah.
So when I first played Arc Nova, I was confused I was like, what do you mean? Like what do you mean I'm at -1 point or
Yeah,
I only got you won, but you only got 3 points or something, you know? When I first played, I was confused, but now I'm like, oh shoot, like I'm getting 50 plus points or something, you know? Depending on
challenge.
Depending on
challenge
what's
set.
depending on what's happening on the board, you could get a lot
Play
of points.
day and he's gonna beat you by 50.
I think I got like 3 points or something when I first played.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
A lot of
Something like that.
My first
I
time
was,
I was
just
negative
barely
points.
above
I was
0.
negative points, you know.
Yeah, I think that is pretty good. This is the Arc Nova show.
The Arc Nova show. That's all we're going to talk about.
But yeah, so conflict. So Dune Imperium has a little bit of everything, you know, deck building, work placement,
Dune
resource
Imperium's
management,
very
conflict. It just
made
has
game.
everything honestly.
So I do want to jump into the mechanics, and it kind of stinks I already shared this with you guys. I should have just waited. Should have waited for the show. So I guess if you're watching, you can comment below. What do you think is the most popular mechanic? And you guys already know the answer though. So
You know, I do know this answer, but I don't remember the answer. Those are
is
two
like
different things.
20
right?
minutes ago.
I know. I forgot. Let's say
I thought it was work, for me, I think
You thought it was work
Yeah, that's what
placement.
you
Yeah.
thought, right?
Yeah.
What would you? So
the most I don't know, some card based. So
deck building.
deck building maybe. No, that's not all that popular. Roll and move.
roll and move.
Sure.
That could be. That could be. I think that's a.
Monopoly.
American.
All right, what is it?
American. So this person put together on Reddit. He put together a ranking system for the 191 different board game mechanics based off.
191 different.
Well, this was a year ago, so there might be more now. There might have been some more discovery of mechanics. This is based off of Board Game Geek's database, which is a huge website for all the board games pretty much that have been published. And he takes 4 factors for this: the current top 100. The top 100 most played games of all time, top 100 most rated games, and then games with the BG rating of 7 or higher.
Okay.
Make the list for determining. So, number 1 is hand.
A lot of games.
Okay, and also you can change it to doing top 50 games, top 100 games, top 150, and top 200. So if I go to top 200, hand management is number 1.
Okay.
Hand management seems to be number 1 for all of them.
So
Okay.
is that
So Google some hand management games just so
So
we get some
if I click
references.
this, what's really cool is he has some examples
Oh,
and
oh,
pictures.
gosh.
Look at that.
So
what is it?
Brass,
Terraforming Mars.
Brass Birmingham, Pandemic, Legacy, and Pandemic, I guess. Gloomhaven, Terraforming Mars, War of the Ring are some examples. Number 2, do you remember number 2 day?
No, I'm still
It was 20 minutes ago.
like the games you mentioned for number 1. I'm just like,
Yeah. Terraforming Mars. Hand management.
okay, Gloomhaven is fun.
Yeah, Gloomhaven is definitely hand management. Like, that's the crux
That's not a
of the
game you sit down and play, though.
Yeah,
Like,
Gloomhaven is definitely like
That's like
100% hand management.
yeah, but that's a game you have to be ready to play. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
kind
I'm
of,
just-
let's play Gloomhaven
I'm just trying
today.
to think like how.
Campaign-based game.
Yeah.
Yes. So, oh, interesting. And is it Pandemic was another one?
I think Race
Yeah.
to the Galaxies one.
Pandemic, you have your hands and you have to choose.
I'm just wrapping my head around like it being number 1, the mechanic. I should say.
Right. Well,
No, it's just
They're saying
examples. I think it just
Oh,
grabs. So
okay.
I think
Grabbing
what
random-
this
okay.
and I wouldn't say it's probably not random. It's based off of where those fall,
In the
and it
top
has that
games.
mechanic
Yeah.
tagged.
well, like Brass
So Brass
Birmingham,
Birmingham is probably like the top
Terraforming
game.
Mars.
and-
Those are top games
Yeah.
on BG. Board Game Geek.
So number 2, variable player powers.
Okay.
So that's Twilight Imperium,
Yeah.
Pandemic again, Gloomhaven again, Dune Imperium, and
Oh.
Terraforming Mars.
For
Variable player powers.
I guess the placement or the corporations you start with.
Oh yeah. The corporations give
but
you.
that's
different-
like a one-time. But then,
But it still counts as a
and
mechanic.
it continues throughout the game.
yeah. It's a small part of that game.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Just like Dune Imperium,
Yeah.
but it's still it gets that mechanic, so it becomes.
all right.
That's interesting because you could weight the mechanics based on how much of the game you feel or it is part of it, but then it becomes very like subjective.
Right.
It's very hard to quantify that.
And like games like Dune Imperium, it has multiple mechanics in it.
Yeah.
It's
Like your guys' favorite worker placement, Dave's favorite
I like work, deck building,
building.
resource management.
Lords of Waterdeep is a good worker placement game, I think.
Yeah,
So I want to just go down the list.
Yeah.
Maybe the top 10.
Sure,
We
sure.
got Solo is number 3. Variable setup number 4. Set collection number 5. Open drafting 6. Dice rolling 7. End game bonuses 8. Cooperative 9. That's interesting.
Yeah.
9 is tagged as cooperative. I guess a lot of games have a couple different modes. And it's interesting that Solitaire is number 3. So you're saying that
That's really weird.
is it because these popular games have this solo
mode.
solo player or solitaire?
it's both.
Because I don't want to say it's completely solitaire, but a lot of games are kind of solitaire. Like Ark Nova, it's Terraforming Mars. Those are kind of solitaire.
But it wouldn't
You're more focused on
considered-
your own
Right.
plateau.
No, you're right, because some of these mechanics overlap, obviously, right? Like the first 2 overlapped with a couple games.
Yeah,
So Solo, I think it's specifically has a mode for one player.
Yes, exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
Does Dune Imperium have a mode for one player?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it does, and so does
Terraforming Mars as well.
Ark Nova has solo player also.
What's that other game that we liked?
Ruins of Lost
Yeah,
Arnak has solo
yeah,
player.
Arnak.
So so this is a very interesting, I guess, list
Yeah.
of mechanics.
I guess
'Cause-
Zombicide
'cause
has
a lot of these
one
games
player.
have a little bit of everything, but not everything is perceived to the game. I guess so. It's like solo mode.
Right.
I don't. It's in the
It's in there.
in these popular games, but I don't
Yeah.
think there's. I've never done solo Ark Nova.
Have you
or-
played a solo game ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did Clank.
Oh,
I think
Clank has
solo.
solo player?
How
Clank
was
in
that?
Space. Yeah. It was cool. It
I
was.
like- I like-
it was
I
when
love
I
Clank.
was first getting into board games, like pretty heavy,
Yeah,
and
Clank in Space
I
is
like
awesome.
just wanted to play. And
yeah, Clank
I
is awesome.
set it up, and it has a little app and tells you what to do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty neat.
I mean, I think that's probably why a lot of games they just build a solo
Yeah,
mode
it
so
is.
it gets that
Yes.
mechanic.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's on the list. Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Um,
Yeah, almost a lot of new games are building in a solo mode. for their games, which is
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Definitely, again, going back to our episode about Kickstarter, we kind of mentioned different options for the consumer
Yeah.
when you have a game and you throw on a solo mode. But it's interesting because there's a heated discussion from some board game groups that are like solo board game groups, and they're like, I hate it when a game just throws on a solo mode because it's not done well.
Final Girl's a solo game.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be pretty fun.
Yeah, straight up solo.
Yeah.
Okay.
One deck dungeon can be solo, right?
All right. So solo and then rolling, dice roll.
Variable setup.
Variable setup's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Northgard, I
love
think, does
variable
that.
setup. I mean,
Yeah.
Terraforming Mars variable setup, right?
Yeah.
Every board could be
it has
different.
that. Sure.
Arc Nova, every board's different.
Let's see. Pandemic Legacy, Gloomhaven, Twilight Imperium. It's like the same ones because
yeah.
they're
I
at the
don't.
top.
I don't agree. Well, I guess Gloomhaven is variable because every
Every
campaign
definitely
is every setting
sorry.
is different.
I was
so-
looking at the wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
But it is because each map
It
is
is,
different.
yeah, each time
yeah,
you set
each
it
map
up.
is different.
But it's not on there. I wonder if it has that mechanic or not on Board Game Geek. But Brass, Twilight Imperium, Terraforming Mars, War of the Ring, and Star Wars Rebellion are variable setup.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of games have that option now.
The new Clank
Yeah.
because you're flipping tiles.
The
now.
Catacombs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Catacombs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Always different. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, these.
Variable is very important to me because it gives
Yeah.
more replayability.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Cascadia has a good one too, where the scoring cards
yeah,
are different.
Those are different, right?
Yeah.
Score the game.
That's a great game. There's so many great mechanics and great games. Like, are they going to be able to make new mechanics? Or would you list 190? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess when
191,
you're
yeah.
nitpicking on everything, you do come up with all these different mechanics.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like to me, I didn't even consider all these things to be mechanics.
Right,
you know?
right.
I'm just thinking of very like 10 things, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over 190, you know, it's like,
It's interesting, too, because, the discussion about IP and copyright and all
Oh.
that and mechanics, that you can just straight up copy a game
Yep.
and the mechanics.
Right.
And it is legal.
yeah. I think it's more about the theme of the
Yeah.
game. That's what's copyrighted, right? Maybe.
The art, the
art, yeah.
words. Yeah.
Those are the major one. I
Yeah,
think.
but-
I think they came down to the part where you cannot copyright a mechanic.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
There will be no games. There will
Yeah.
be one game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like video games, too.
Yeah.
You know, video
Yeah.
games have evolved over
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and we got so many different mechanics.
Cool.
All right, so that was our episode about board game mechanics, but we're going to head into a convention segment. All right, so for our convention segment, we have a lot of updates. This episode is being recorded 4 weeks before it comes out, so we wanted to kind of create an episode for y'all for this episode that's kind of more free-flowing, talking about board game mechanics. But this convention segment is a big one. We have our website. It came out over Strategicon weekend, so if you watched our
Yeah.
maybe previous episode, we released the website, put it up Memorial Day weekend. And that's lfg-con.com. By the time this episode comes out, hopefully we'll hit 100 subscribers so we can have a link at the bottom. But that's one big update. Then we also have some other updates.
Yeah, I think we're going to be looking to start staffing and pretty soon.
Yeah, and vendor applications.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we have all that officially, the forms officially ready, it'll be up on the website. But for now, you can, if you're interested, you can sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get an alert when the applications are up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we have the newsletter, and then you can reach out to us to email, and we have a contact page.
Yeah, if you have any questions, about the con or anything else.
Questions, suggestions.
Things are starting to roll.
Yeah, it's rolling.
This
going
episode
downhill.
will come out with less than a year
Barely.
for the con.
A little less than a year, yeah.
Like, how many weeks are in a year? That many, minus 2 weeks.
It's not enough.
52 weeks. So
52 weeks.
50 weeks.
Not enough.
Probably. All right, well, thank you for tuning in
Yeah.
to this episode, and we'll see you next time.